Welcome back, Franchise Audio.
Thank you so much for fucking tuning in to another week. It's Jay. I got Eddie here next to me. You're listening to Franchise Audio this week.
And like a couple of important updates, I guess, for the week. We wanted to catch you guys up on some stuff. And something interesting that I saw the other day that a lot of people are getting more in touch with right now, which is Seaspiracy. It's a Netflix documentary about the ocean and about fish in general and the consumption of fish and I guess to put it more plainly, the degradation of the ocean and how we're slowly destroying the most important thing to the planet, which is fish and the ocean. So, if you guys haven't watched the documentary, like Jay hasn't watched it just yet, but he's probably gonna check it out after this.
Yeah, because I fucking love fish. You know, all types of fish, salmon, tuna, even like the slangs. I know we call pussy fish sometimes, or like back in the day, even though pussy shouldn't be fishes, but like that's back in the day, that's like what it was. And in Spanish, we say bacalao sometimes.
Is that the Code 45 one? The blind man, right? Passing by a fish market.
Yeah, yeah. And I've heard it before. That it's kind of like an outdated slang. But we're okay. But no, I just love fish in general. But I'll definitely check out the documentary for sure.
And I'm someone that likes fish a lot too. And one of the reasons
sushi, all that shit,
it's delicious. One of the reasons why I stopped consuming so much meat and trying to like incorporate more fish or different types of protein into my diet was because of just the way, the meat industry is in the United States.
Yeah.
The mass production of meat and, what that means for animals and stuff like that. I haven't gone full vegan. I don't know. I don't think I will. But I lowered the meat consumption and the buying of meat for that reason. And Seaspiracy, on the other hand, shows you what commercial fishing does to the ocean. And on top of that, it shows you how unregulated it is, how often it's going on, how much fish are actually getting caught, how over the last 50 to 60 years you've seen a decrease in population of fish to somewhere in the 90s to 95%.
Because we're just out there
we're overfishing, and on top of overfishing, there's a lot of fish that get caught in nets that don't belong to that, for example, to that catch,
like you're catching tuna and there's a salmon in there. You're saying, right?
Right. You wouldn't catch salmon because salmon you get in freshwater.
Whatever the fuck.
Yeah. But you would get for example, a bird would get caught in that.
Oh, just completely different species. You're talking about.
Or a shark would get caught in that, and they would die off. There's a 6 species of shark that have decreased in population in over to the 80s to 90%, just as off dolphin, whales.
Just from a cause and effect.
Yeah, so just off of a residual effect of actually just fishing for things like tuna, halibut, different types of fish. You see this going on across the entire world, predominantly in Asia, France, the coast of Africa, and of course it's not exclusive to these people, but it's more about the commercial fishers and what they're doing.
I'm guessing it's less regulated and it's to do out there in those places. Huh?
The ocean's big as fuck.
Yeah, for sure.
So you have many times that even illegal fishing is really hard to catch because it's out in open waters. So you need someone to go and monitor that stuff. There's a lot of issues going on with it because of its regulation. But even the governments that are regulating it will not regulate commercial fishing, is what you're seeing. They'll regulate people going out into the ocean on kayaks. That doesn't fucking matter to the ocean.
Or us, just if we had a boat, just going out and just fishing with our boys, right? Or
yeah. And that is what they're regulating. But that doesn't do shit.
Yeah, because that makes sense. Because I've always heard just around the circles of that, be careful what you catch, because if Coast Guard or SEC pulls you over, and if they catch you with some of these fish are bigger than what the size that they allow or anything, that they'll really bust your ass. And there's some crazy fines and 100%. Stuff like that.
So anyway, it's basically a documentary beyond not just what's going on to our oceans, because our oceans are being destroyed and the population of a lot of species in the oceans are becoming endangered, threatened, or at worst extinct because of commercial fishing.
Yeah.
But dude, it was talking about, how the Amazon, they're chopping down the Amazon at I think it's almost 2.5 million acres a month. Well, we're losing territory as far as oxygen in comparison monthly to 2.5 trillion in the ocean. With commercial fishers, what they'll do is they'll put an entire net out that goes to directly to the bottom, and they'll catch whatever gets caught in there. But they'll go for miles with that. And as they're pulling up the fish, you don't see it, but they're destroying coral reefs. They're destroying kelp. And
that's no good.
And kelp, the ocean is really what hosts most of our carbon dioxide and converts it back into oxygen. There's a lot of species of plants that are not seen in the ocean that provide that regulation for the environment and helps with climate change. So it's not just about the fish. It's also about, like, yo, this is going to harm our planet. The most interesting thing I saw in the documentary, though, was how it's not just the fact that it's unregulated, but how large scale it is. You have from down to the fishing is a problem, to the killing of different species is a problem, to, you know how people tell you, hey, don't use plastic straws because you'll
fuck with the turtles,
you're gonna kill the whales and stuff like
that crazy shit.
You know how much I didn't know this until I saw it, but you know how much of plastic is actually in the ocean from, like, straws and stuff like that? 0.003%.
Dude, you know that's atrocious, because all plastic that we've ever made in this world is still, like, on this planet.
Yeah.
So that's why
it's hard to break down.
It's damn near impossible.
So a lot of the plastics in the oceans, what happens is they become microplastics, which is plastics that break down, but they're not completely broken down. Yeah. So they're super micro scale. That is what is killing species of fish. But here's the biggest issue. So even if the entire world stops using plastic straws tomorrow, it is not going to do any of the changing that is necessary. You know why? There's this huge area from Hawaii to Cali. There's this huge, like, 1.6 billion tons of plastic are accumulated in that area. In that ocean is pure plastic.
See, that's crazy, bro.
And straws and shit like that don't account for nothing. It's 0.003. You know what accounts for over 47% of the plastic in that area? The 1.6 billion tons of it? Fishing lines, fishing nets.
Wow.
And that's from commercial fishing, dog. It has nothing to do with just going to Starbucks and saying, hey, can I have the one that's a sippy cup instead of getting a straw? It's not
us regular consumers.
It's not our regular consumption.
Damn, it's these people that are, like, fulfilling these orders for, like, supermarkets and these restaurants and all that shit.
It's massive. Because what happens is that and it's a fuck ton of boats. We're talking about millions of boats going out to do this fishing. So it's really hard you're thinking of, like, fuck, like, how many boats can it be, right? Like, you think about the meat industry. It's very easy to go to a meat factory and see, hey, what the fuck are you doing to the mistreating of the animals? It's very easy to document these things. But it's very hard to go to Japan and get video of what's going on because it's restricted. You don't have access to it, and you could get fined and even put in jail because this is kept super low-key.
Of course. You know how many families are fed off of these businesses, this commercial fishing?
And so Japan, they started killing whales again, which is why the person that made this documentary got interested in seeing why Japan got off of protecting whales, because it was illegal to fish for whales since 1986.
I mean, that kind of makes sense to me.
And Japan said, no, fuck it, we're going to kill whales again. And so you see how whales are dying, and off of residually, like, whales are dying because of plastic. Most of these whales are dying because of microplastics and fishing that's being caught into their stomach. So it's not just about, like, people consuming and stopping the consumption of plastic. Like, yeah, sure, that will help. But if we really want to tackle, like, climate change, if we really want to tackle, like, environmental change, if we really want to tackle the preservation of the oceans, if we want to tackle, plastic, plastic being wasted and just waste in general in the earth, we have to look at how we're treating our oceans. And this documentary was very eye-opening in the sense of, like, holy fuck. There's something out there so grand scale, and it's so deeply rooted that even the companies, like the GMO companies that are certifying, like, oh yeah, this product was fished in a way that protected the environment, that it was sustainable. Like, even they get paid to put that on the labels, so they don't even have someone going out there and checking if it was sustainable or not. on those boats, because you need someone on those boats to verify. Many times people won't even go out there. So there's no way right now to tell if you are getting a sustainable fish.
Bro, this is so fucked because I feel like no matter what industry right now, at least in particular with food that you look into, it's so damn manipulated. It's a lot of marketing. It's a lot of like misleading and misdirecting the consumer. So it's just, what the fuck do I eat then, really? Like, I have to really just become a raw vegan and eat nuts, seeds, and kale? That's it? Like, that's all I get?
No, you see, like, things like this make me, I guess, troubleshoot a little bit in my head, because I agree with you, right? Like, fuck, what industry then can I trust? Or what industry can I go and become a consumer of that is sustainable for the planet? Or that I am at least being able to buy something that I know was caught in a way that isn't harming everything else.
Ethical, right?
Yes, in a more ethical way. Like, what can I do in that sense? And you know where I keep leaning? Buy from local farmers, like the people that you know, that have the farm, that do the raising, buy from local farmers. Grow it yourself. Whatever you can.
Sustainability, right?
Literally grow it yourself as much as you can, because obviously to a certain point, like nobody has, not a lot of people have access into having a farm.
Yeah, or not land where they can do it and shit.
Yeah, not a lot of people have access to doing those things. But yo, if you can grow basil, you just need a pot. If you could grow basil,
fine, your herbs and things like that, very easy to do yourself.
Tomatoes, whatever the fuck you could grow it, because the more you see, it's a money game, man. Everything is a money game.
It's about the bottom line. It really is about the bottom line, and it really gets you to think, like, if it's just really all about the bottom line, how much accounting is going in for like the health of these consumers?
Yeah.
Because like you're saying, like on these packages, you're getting like misled, and it's saying, oh, this was caught in an ethical way, or this was caught in a
when they're just getting paid
in a healthy way for the environment. But at the end of the day, someone's just fucking cutting them a check, and that's getting pushed out on the label and then pushed out to millions of people that think that they're doing something good for the environment and their body, which in reality you might just be eating fucking plastic filled fish.
There's one thing on the documentary that really disgusted me, and it's there's so many sharks dying by the tens of thousands.
And we need sharks. Shark is super crucial to
look how many sharks are dying right now. 10,000 per minute.
Yeah, that's way too much.
10,000 per minute.
Yeah, if those were just birds falling out from the sky and
like, look at this exactly.
Then it'd be a problem.
Then people would be like, "What the fuck is going on?" Right,
just falling out of the sky. Then people would be like, "Hey."
The thing people don't understand about sharks is they're super necessary for the oceans. They're apex predators.
Yeah.
They make sure that other species are kept in check.
Yeah.
They make sure that those other species are not overpopulating and destroying the subsidiary species, because the subsidiary species are what keeps the coral reefs alive, the kelps alive, all these other things. So they're making sure that there's no overpopulation. And you need that in nature. You know what they're doing in Asia? Like, as a form of status and symbol? Eating shark fin soup. You know what that is? Cutting off the fin of a shark, literally putting it into like a preservation, then cooking it in a soup, and eating that, because it's a status of money. It's a status of like symbol in Asia, and it's like $180 per the soup, and it doesn't even taste anything. There's no nutritional substance you can get from shark fins. Like, there's no nutrients your body can even break down from it.
Yeah, shark is all muscle. You know, it's just...
And you're consuming the fin just for status, just for symbol. That's all it's about.
You see, like,
I wonder
how far does culture take you, and you know, and just being from somewhere different and doing things differently, because to be consuming, like you're saying, yes, disgusting. Shark fin soup is just like, what's the use of that? You know, like what, like you're saying, like you're telling me here, there's like no nutritional value. Why the fuck would you want to consume it? It doesn't even taste good. Another reason why the fuck would you want to consume it? Like that shit makes no sense to me.
And look, at the end of the day, it's one documentary. I just recently watched it. It's one documentary, right? I'm still gonna go out and do more of my research to make sure that there's.
Well, I'm still eating fish, at least for right now.
There has to be some dude. I'm telling you, man. Watching that documentary, legitimately will at least make you reflect on, like, fuck, maybe not so often. It legit made me think about that because, and how quickly it's happening.
Yeah.
It's going to change the landscape of the earth.
It already is.
But I'm saying
10,000 sharks dying per minute. That's
yeah. It's going to change the landscape of the earth sooner rather than later. Like 2040, we're going to see a very different ocean than what we see right now. And that's scary to think about. The ocean is a beautiful, vast place that we're still trying to explore and understand. Like, we don't know much about the creatures that live in the ocean.
Yeah, very true.
And so it at least, like, watching the documentary makes me want to go out, do more research into seeing if there is any ethical way of consumption of fish.
Or just food at this point.
Right? Yeah, or food in general, but more so to make sure that whatever I'm seeing is verifiable, you know, with other facts. But also on top of that, it's like, if I'm going to consume fish at all, like, should I just go and fish it? Type shit. Because it's bad, man.
Does the documentary, is it kind of just, well, obviously it's shining a light on what's going on, right? But is it also in a way offering maybe a type of solution or a suggestion, or is it just kind of,
it's almost like a call to arms.
Call to arms. So this is what's going on. Let's get as much people on, this much brain power to see how we can start shaping things.
This is what's going on. It was on, for me, it felt like this is what's going on. Please help. Like, we don't have time.
Yeah.
So, like, please, somebody watch this, and I hope that by watching this, then something will change. Dude, in the year 1948, they were fishing over 2 tons of fish per month. Now they're fishing over 2 tons of fish per year. The population of fish is dramatically decreasing.
Wait, I think you said that backwards.
No. In the 1950s, we were fishing over 2 tons of fish per month.
Yeah.
Today, we are fishing over 2 tons of fish total a year. Meaning in 11 months more, it's taking us to fish that amount of fish.
Oh, okay. I see what you're... Okay.
There's not enough fish in the ocean.
Yeah. The fish are just straight up running out.
Dude, we are running out of fish by overfishing.
Damn, dude. I remember back in college, one of my teachers, they brought up like this like very same point, like just the overfishing and like our world's natural resources and their scarcity and how we shouldn't be fucking with it the way that we are. And I remember like kind of agreeing with him, like thinking like, yeah, like if something is scarce, eventually, you know, it will get to a point so it will run out. It's just hearing you talk about this now, it makes it even that much more of a fact. And it's just really making me think even that much more like, bro, like something like this can happen. And the fucked up part is that it will be all our doing.
Yeah.
You know, like we are the ones that have just enabled and continue to let this type of thing go on. To think like something like fish can just disappear from our oceans. It's just nuts to me. And
the only way, honestly, to help is by letting nature be, like just stopping.
Kind of, yeah, and that's impossible, right? I don't see a world where that's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's a money game, right? People want to get out of poverty. People want to make businesses. People want to be like filthy rich. You know,
people want sushi rolls.
Consumers want to consume it. People want to bring that to the consumer, and if it makes a ton of money, you know, that's where people go. But it's interesting nonetheless, and I think as far as if you guys haven't watched Seaspiracy, I would give it a watch because it at least had me intrigued. It at least has me thinking about consumption of fish, and now it has me wanting to research a couple of things to see, not only to fact check it and make sure that everything is going where or they're getting their source material from reliable sources.
Yeah.
But it looks like it is, and even if they're exaggerating for dramatic sake, even in exaggeration, like let's knock that number down 20%. Let's say it was 2,000 sharks dying per minute.
Yeah,
that is still a massive problem.
Yeah, I would thought it'd be like 2,000 almost like per 6 months or something like that. It's what I would think, or even per year.
Like if we put it at a scale, there's 6 people that die from sharks attacks a year.
Bro, sharks.
You know what I mean? Like if we put that to scale together, we like the human race is the biggest virus that exists on the planet.
Bro, sharks go on to live for like 50 plus years.
Yeah.
They stick around.
Yeah.
We are killing them.
Yeah. You know, something that because I just came from San Diego, and something that that we were kayaking out in the ocean. Me and my girlfriend Nikki. We were kayaking out in the ocean. We had kind of like a tour, and we were passing by this beautiful, beautiful area in San Diego in La Jolla, and under where we were, the kayak tour guide, and I'm talking about at least down, you could probably think it's 30 to 40 feet. That's enough for shark territory, right?
Oh, so what?
Easy
I've seen
money.
them out in just South Beach on the shore on a regular
Doing
Sunday.
nothing, hanging out.
Fuck.
So you see that the kayak goes and he puts his legs out on the water, and I'm like, hey, what's up with that?
Yeah.
You know, I'm pretty bold, but
you know where you are.
Yeah,
you see where you are, right?
I respect this area. He's like, here's the thing, underwater here is a kelp forest, and they grow about 6 feet a day, and the kelp under here are about 20 feet. And so what happens is that great whites, massive sharks won't come here because if they get caught in the kelp forest, then they'll drown because they need to come up every now and then for air.
Oh shit!
So
stupid ass sharks.
So they stay away because they know.
Yeah.
They've evolved to a point that they know that kelp for them is something that will for sure kill them if they get caught because it's very easy to get their fins caught in it. So they'll go and not go into that area of the reef, so they won't go and kill the sea lions or anything that is around that area. But interesting note, if we start losing kelp, if we start losing all these things, eventually we could see more shark attacks and stuff like that. But anyway, the point is that if you guys haven't checked out Seaspiracy, I would definitely go give it a watch because it's just, if we're gonna do something, you know, as far as with our time, it's always interesting to engage areas of interest that we don't have enough knowledge on, and I feel like the ocean is one of those things that is just, the fuck do we know about the ocean? Well, how do we know what's going on in the ocean?
Nothing.
And commercial fishing is slowly for sure going to destroy it if we don't do something about it soon.
Man, I never really thought we'd get to the day where this would be kind of like more and more of a reality, but it's just more of a blaring truth that we need to be conscious, not just like with our sea, but like, you know, with our plastic consumption, just every part in life. It seems to be like we need to be more vigilant about what we're doing, right? You're talking about now like global warming is more of a topic now more than ever, you know, pollution in the air, things like this. So it's just crazy to see that this shit's not stopping. You know what I mean? Like if you continue to do nothing, if you just kind of continue to sit by and let things get worse, they're going to do just that. They are going to continue to get worse.
And interesting enough, the biggest risk factor to global warming and to the planet heating is destruction of and degradation of the ocean. Like I said, most of our oxygen that gets cleaned and purified comes from the ocean. There's a lot there's just in the upper layer, there's these things called plankton.
Yeah.
And pseudoplankton that are already doing the exchange of carbon dioxide for you. So if we want to preserve the world, Doug, you know what I just thought of? Like, it comes down to the fact that we really don't give a shit about preservation because we understand that we're going to die. So we're like, how much can we get now? How much can we get out of it right now?
Yes.
Because
100%.
sustainability, like the word sustainability is about, let's say you do this, right? Like you're investing right now into Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Let's say you bought 2 Bitcoin way back in the day. And now those Bitcoin have the value of 62, whatever. I haven't checked where it's at, but it should be somewhere upwards of $62,000. You put in $200 into that.
Yeah.
Sustainability would be, I'm not going to waste anything over $200.
Yeah.
So as the time progressed of 10 to 20 years, you decided that what you were going to do was anything that you were making returns on there, you wouldn't touch the initial investment of the $200, right? So this is what sustainability is. You are just going off of what you are producing.
Yes.
Off of your initial investment.
Yes.
We are not making the earth sustainable because if we're destroying the Amazon, but we're not planting trees, if we're destroying the ocean, but we're not letting the ocean take care of itself, if we're doing all these things, then sustainability is literally not going to be possible for the earth because the earth has X amount and it's a set amount of resources.
Yeah.
Much more enough than what is necessary for humans.
Yeah.
And it's going to continue going under and under and under into the negatives. Much like, or unlike money where you put 200, once you get your $200 done on your initial investment is gone, the earth right now had, like, let's put a number out there, like 10 trillion resources.
Yeah.
Like, if we keep devastating those resources to the point that they can't accrue interest, they cannot accrue sustainability, then we're going to get to a point that once things go extinct, then we're really fucked.
Yeah, we're just over consuming, right? And we're not really taking into account the effect of our causes. And it's going to be, I mean, interesting is the word I'm going to use for lack of a better word, but it's really going to be interesting, like how you say, like in 20 years to see what our ocean's going to look like in 40 years, right? 50 years, because it's like you're saying, we are consuming at a rapid rate right now, a lot more than what the reserves of let's just say Earth has to offer initially, right? It's getting to a point that we're consuming so much fish that like we have to, like, tilapia is now a thing, like, like a farmed fish type of product. Like it's just crazy to the level and the extent that we'll go to just to, I guess, be satisfied at the end of the day.
And even farm fish is horrible for you, and that's a whole topic for another day. But it's just something interesting, and that's if you haven't seen it, it's very new, but just something interesting during the week. And then as a perfect transition, we talked a little bit about Bitcoin just a bit ago as an example for sustainability. And speaking of sustainability, Bitcoin looks like if you invested any amount of money into anything,
whatever you could have thrown at it, literally any amount of money you could have thrown at it,
it's looking like it's making you some fucking amazing, decent returns. It shot up today to a record high of like $63,500.
Yeah,
$63,500.
God bless America.
And
God bless the world, really.
And just so people know, this is your Money Tree segment. And just so people know, wait, hey, why did it just do the 63,500 thing? It was at 58 last week.
Yeah.
Well, Coinbase is IPOing.
Yeah.
Coinbase, if you guys don't know, it's a cryptocurrency exchange market that exists. That existed for a while now.
Yeah, Coinbase has been around since like 2013, 2014, right around there, if I'm not mistaken.
So it's existed for forever now, but it's finally going public as a traded company.
Yes,
tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah, it's gonna be public on the 14th. Yeah, tomorrow when you listen to this episode.
And so by the time you guys get this episode, you're gonna be able to check E-Trade. You're gonna be able to check your Robinhood, whatever stock trading app you have, and you're gonna be able to see that you can purchase Coinbase as a publicly traded profile.
And we are not your financial advisors.
And we are not your financial advisors, but Coinbase, of course, is very, as the future. As you look at, hey, what is a stock market, and is it possible to have stock markets in cryptocurrency? I think yes. I think Coinbase is an example of that.
Yeah.
And, that's just what I'll say about Coinbase. But Bitcoin is skyrocketing as, like, secondhand smoke from it. Because people know that now that it's going public, there's going to be a massive surge of people wanting to buy it.
Man, there's a lot of reasons why this shit is skyrocketing. Definitely, this is for sure the year of like institutional support, right? Where you're seeing corporations pile into Bitcoin more than ever. You're seeing more like ETFs wanting to be filed more than ever.
A lot of people that said no chance, this is not gonna go well, and it is going to fail. A lot of companies that doubled down on that years ago are now turning tail and saying, you know what? Visa's an example. Hey, any settlements with Bitcoin, they'll be processed.
Yeah, look at Michael Saylor, for example. Michael Saylor, he's come out publicly before and said that Bitcoin is useless. Yeah. And now, just yesterday, they announced that MicroStrategy, right, which is Michael Saylor's company, is now going to be paying their board members in Bitcoin, right? Their treasury is almost fully denominated in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And that's for a lot of great reasons, right? When you think about just the bank of the world, right? Because that's essentially what Bitcoin is, right? It's our first fully open digital monetary network, right, that anybody can partake in, no matter what anyone has to say. Nobody can get in the middle of you partaking in it and just interacting and exchanging with others.
Not to interrupt you, but when you put it that way, it almost has like an umami to it. It almost tastes like sweet, salty, spicy, fatty, acidic. It has almost like, fuck, that sounds delicious. The bank bank of the world. Who doesn't want to partake in the bank of the fucking world, Jay?
It's literally the bank of the world, the bank of the internet, right? Like think about it. Like you have the first fully.
You're not a financial advisor, motherfucker. But you know what? You be saying these delicious nothings at the people's ears that if you heard, hey, you could buy into the bank of the world.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna want to throw at least $5 into that.
I mean, yeah, but you'll have people that won't, and like I'm telling you now, this shit has not gone away because once you actually understand the technology that is powering this, you start to learn that this is tomorrow. This is the future. This will be a part of the world 5, 10, 15 years from now because it's just that powerful. Like we look at money, right? Money at the end of the day, money is a technology, right? It always has been. Money is just a technology that allows you to spend your wealth of today, tomorrow, right? Now you have a system like Bitcoin, right? That now gets your layer 1 money and protects it through very strong fucking encryption, right? Unbreakable encryption to this day to our standards, right? And puts it on a monetary network, which is fully open, that you can now get your money, your value, and you can transfer that value to any point in the world literally in seconds if you're using the Lightning Network, or in about minutes if you're just using the Bitcoin network at half the fee, more than half the fees that it would cost you traditionally with our legacy bank system.
Yeah.
It's just it's just honestly a nuts idea. Like I don't want to say every day, but kind of like every so often when I kind of like do a little bit more reading on Bitcoin and look into this a little bit more and such.
Become more bullish.
Yeah, I become a lot more bullish because I'm just like, how not? Like, how not? You have a hard money, right? A verifiably digital scarce asset in the world. This is the first of its liking. Like we before Bitcoin, we have never had anything else like this. And since Bitcoin, even though there's been a lot of copycats, there is still nothing else like this. This is a crazy fucking technology. And we're not financial advisors at all.
I mean, if you don't know by now, I mean, when it halves in 2048, you'll know then.
Yeah.
When it's so scarce that the value of the coin is so high that it's almost unimaginable that you were listening to this podcast and for whatever reason you decided you didn't even want to throw $1 at it. You'll know then.
Yeah.
And just to put it, I guess, larger scale, because what Jay is saying is just facts. Like that, it's just the matter of fact. It's a system that is not fraudable. There's no fraud in the system. It's verified by its own chain.
Yeah, censorship resistant, immutable.
To change the chain, you need 100% ownership, which at this point it's way more than impossible to have 100% ownership of the blockchain. And then thirdly, it's stating that it's the bank of the world is not far-fetched because of something like, think about, you gave a great example before the podcast when we were talking about just what this means in terms of sending money to someone that is in another country, for example. Yeah. And I like your example with Salvador. So if you guys don't know, there's a system of remittance, which is basically anytime you're exchanging a currency to another currency, you have to use a system to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think of it like exactly like essentially what a remittance is whenever you're sending money to a family member or friend in a less developed country than you're in. That's essentially a remittance. And the global remittance market is huge.
How much is huge though?
No, huge. Like so on the worldbank.org, right? I was only able to see as far back as 2018 for some reason. But in 2018, the global remittance market it hit about like $628 billion. And they were basically stating by like 2026, we should be at about $1 trillion market cap on that. So think about that for a second.
So
that's per year.
That is just the market of getting a currency from an established, higher developed country.
Yeah.
And then exchanging it into a less developed countries.
Yeah, or it can be too, like, vice versa. That because in a way, like, if you're sending, let's say, from the pounds to the U.S. dollar,
right.
that's also considered remittance as well. But usually, the remittance market, what makes it so strong is that you sending money to your family members in Cuba, Venezuela, Colombia, wherever.
And Western Union is huge. There's a lot of companies that do it, but think about all the fees that they use for those transactions.
Fees and time.
Time it takes. You're cutting out the middleman. The middleman no longer exists, and the fees are almost unrecognizable. It depends on what system you're using, of course, on how long it takes. But, I mean, we're talking about minutes versus days.
Yeah.
We're talking about seconds versus hours.
Yes.
We're talking about a possibility of getting a currency that seems to show that it only appreciates.
Because it's a hard money.
Because it's a hard money.
Yeah. And a hard money, just to anyone that might be listening and thinking, what the fuck is a hard money? A hard money is a money that you cannot easily fuck with the stock to flow ratio, right? So basically saying, like, you cannot easily fuck with the supply, right? Our US dollar is not it's considered an easy money or soft money because the government can just print more money always. Gold, real estate, it's considered hard money, hard assets. Why? It's hard even though there's land, just getting more homes is hard. Gold, why is it hard money? Because it's it's scarce. The same way kind of like homes and Bitcoin are. You have to go and you have to mine this shit. And historically, we've seen that we don't mine more than like 2% of gold more a year. So Bitcoin is just another example of a hard money. It's just a money where you cannot manipulate the supply of it, where it will always have a higher stock to flow ratio, which basically means there will always be more of the asset available than the amount of the asset coming into the market.
And it's going to half because built into its system is already built in that whatever over so long that it has will become less abundant and less available. I
can't remember the amount of blocks, but it's after a certain amount of blocks that are mined, it automatically goes and then halves the production or the reward per block. So right now we're at like 6.25 Bitcoin that you receive as a miner for mining a block, right? After, let's say, just to put a number, after, let's say, 100,000 of those blocks are mined, then that reward is going to half into whatever the fuck. It's like 2 point whatever.
Yeah, 3.15,
I think it goes into.
But the point is that once it's mined, it's done. That will make it a very hard money.
Yeah.
And it's just something that will establish. Like, think of the fluctuation of the different amount of currencies that exist in the world, right?
Yeah.
Even our own U.S. currency, the value of the dollar fluctuates a lot because of the availability of printing money. Also, look at third world countries and how the value of their dollar fluctuates on.
Oh yeah, that is crazy.
An unforeseen amount of things. Think about how bad Venezuela is. Think about how bad El Salvador is. Think
Argentina.
About how bad Argentina is. And most of these governments are just printing money to almost put like a Band-Aid over this huge crack on the wall. And whereas now, if you start sending money and trading money through Bitcoin in this way, then it gives you the ability to have longevity as far as currency and value.
Yeah.
So I just think it's interesting. There's an entire market that Bitcoin can get rid of that will literally make the value of the coin even skyrocket more.
Yes.
If it gets rid of a current market cap of $700 billion, if it finds a way to cut out a middleman that big, think about how much that value is going to be. At least some of it is going into Bitcoin because of how useful the coin is already.
Yeah, and you already have companies that are working on that very thing that you're talking about, like tackling the remittance market with our first ever open digital monetary network, which is called Bitcoin and the Lightning Network, right? Like you have Strike, right? Strike is a company founded by Jack Mallers that they're doing that same exact thing. Like, think about a just almost like digital Western Union, or not even like digital Western Union, but think of a Venmo, a Cash App that is now powered by the Bitcoin network that allows you to now send these payments cross borders. They just opened up with El Salvador. The beta's been open in the US and in the UK for some time. Like, these are already things that now in 2021, as infant in a stage that we're in Bitcoin, because even if you think, oh, it's just already been around for a little bit, it's only been 12 years. It hasn't really been a long time. We're still at the very baby steps of this shit. So to see that things like this are already happening, it's like, fuck, bro. I don't even want to say 5 years. What the fuck is this shit gonna look like in 3 years?
What is it gonna look like by the end of this year? And that's how large scale Bitcoin is. That's why Bitcoin has grown so much in the last 4 months. That's why now that it's getting a lot of backing, a lot of understanding from different companies that outed them and said that that Bitcoin was not going to succeed. They were now outing a people. They were not outing a person. They were not outing a corporation. Yeah. Bitcoin just exists. This is a currency. This is not anything else.
Yeah.
So when we ask you guys to look into Bitcoin and buy Bitcoin, even though we're not financial advisors.
Well, we would never ask you to buy Bitcoin because we can't do that. But we can tell you what we're buying and what you should look into.
It's more of a way to protect your sustainability.
Yes. This is your oxygen mask. This is your life raft. Like, hop on. Like, inform yourself.
And do it now. Do it now before the end of this year when Bitcoin's worth from $150,000 to $200,000. This part of the clip, I'm going to save and I'm going to put out at the end of this year.
Yeah.
Because if it's wrong, then I'll probably, I don't know, I'll do something. I'll think of something embarrassing to do if Bitcoin doesn't hit 150 to $2,000.
That's how you're feeling.
Yeah, I'm no problem with it.
Wow. And I'm bullish as fuck on it, but I can't even say what it's going to hit because I really don't know what the fuck it's going to hit.
Yeah.
Besides, I know it's not going to hit zero because I won't let it. I'll buy all of it before it hits zero.
And so that's Money Trees. That's your information for the week as far as what's going on with Bitcoin because it's hitting massive highs that haven't been seen before.
It's doing crazy stuff.
So that's for you guys to kind of soak in and kind of understand the picture of what's happening with Bitcoin. And then cut the bullshit. I'm going to keep this one nice, simple, short, and sweet because there's a lot of you motherfuckers out there that need to understand something. Science and medicine is a technology that exists because of the way the human body responds to certain things in the environment. The Johnson & Johnson vaccine is a 1 in 250,000 case for blood clots. It's like, I think, 6 out of the something million that they've vaccinated.
Literally, yeah, that's the number that I saw.
Here's what I'm going to say. If you are not going to get the vaccine, okay. I'm sure you have your own reasons. But don't let that reason be because you think they're putting microchips in you, because then you are almost admittingly firsthand shaking my hand that you're a fucking moron.
For sure.
And here's why.
But this is because you think microchips aren't a thing.
I don't think that the most effective way to get a microchip into you is by intramuscular injections in a liquid fucking form.
Okay.
All
right.
So I'm going to tell you guys this. Whatever the reasons are, if you're not getting vaccinated because it's the first vaccination that comes out, you're scared of the trials, you're scared of how your body will respond, blah, 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 fine. If you think they're putting a microchip in you, please go to the nearest wall. Make sure that there's a mirror on it. Look right in the fucking mirror and call yourself a fucking idiot. Thank you.
I don't believe that they're putting microchips in people yet, right? But let's say this was an actual thing, right? And let's say someone had information we didn't have, and they really believed it for whatever reason. Would not getting it because of microchips, wouldn't that not be a good idea? I'm just saying. Because let's say the microchip thing is real, even 20%, right?
That's a high number.
You might be fucking people are getting microchips in you and reprogramming you. That's what I'm saying. Maybe we shouldn't be so harsh on the microchip motherfuckers. Because like I said, I'm not there yet.
If you guys are, then I'll change my stance on it. If you believe in the whole microchip thing, then believe in it 100% and never go to a hospital again.
Oh, facts, yes.
So it's either you double down and then I respect you. And basically say you're a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
You know what? At this point, he's on his own.
Yeah.
He's on his own. She's on her own in the world. And at least I can respect you because now you're saying no to everything.
Yeah.
Or if you're on the microchip thing and you're like, but you go to hospitals and you go to clinics and you get your yearly checkups and shit like that, then you know what? Go to the mirror and call yourself a fucking idiot. Here's the other thing. If you're fucking raw, you should be worried about that first and foremost instead of the microchip because guess what? You could be getting injected with some other shit. Some of you motherfuckers need penicillin. Yep.
Need it bad. I will say one thing too. Even though
need it bad.
Yeah, need it bad. I'm not speaking for myself or anything, but I'm just saying. One thing I will say though, and I feel like I'm a little like soft. I don't want to say soft, but you know, I guess my age is showing here a little bit. I am proud. I don't even know if I want to say proud, but I am pleasantly amused to see the amount of people that that are getting vaccinated. Like I thought more people like around our age and everything like probably wouldn't. I'm probably like the only one in our group of friends that hasn't gotten vaccinated yet.
Yeah, I think you are. I mean, I know where you're at as far as the vaccinations and stuff like that. And look, hey, I get it. I'm also someone that I'm getting the vaccination as of now because of what I've looked into.
Yeah.
I am not going to get vaccinated every year. I don't get the flu shot every year.
Yeah.
So I will not get the COVID shot every year if it changes a million strains.
Yeah.
I will take care of my body first and foremost as much as I
sure
can, and we'll go from there. But as far as like how much people, I guess, have shown to get vaccinated and how quickly the response has been, it is decently nice to see.
Yeah, for sure.
Because at the end of the day, it's the governments have put this out as fast as possible, as available as possible. I mean, shit, like almost anybody could get vaccinated at this point. If you're over 18, I think you could get it. It's basically free reign now.
At least I know down here in Miami,
in the state of Florida,
it's open season.
You could go to the Hard Rock as a walk-in; they'll give you a shot, no problem. But it's interesting to see like when we need to create structure and we need to do something on the fly. Like fuck, it's nice to see that they could at least provide that, and it's also nice to see that a lot of people have gotten vaccinated, that have gone out and done that. Just because, it's been a fucking year. It is going to eventually go back into some sense of normalcy, but it's nice to see that people want to get back there quicker.
No, for sure. I think that's really what's been like the what's caused people to want to go out there and get vaccinated. Kind of like, hey, like let's just get this shit over with. I've lived already the last year of my life in some sort of fucking warped reality. I'm ready to get back to what it's got to be. So that's amazing.
This has been Franchise Audio. This has been your weekly update. And shit, this has been, if you're listening to this a couple years from now, this has been your precursor call to, we called it. Bitcoin's at $1 million. Peace.